Is it fantasy or exaggeration though?
Fantasy.
Sensationalizing.
Don't nobody wear. I don't even like. Who wears suits selling drugs in Brooklyn? Like if on the block with a suit, feel me, and he just out there getting it. Who wearing $20 million worth of jewelry on the block selling dope? You can't do that because the police rolling by. But I'm saying Ross has created a world that set the fantasy, just him, for example. Like let's not even get into the rest of the gangster rap, but just like, let's say him. He set the bar so high with the bullshit that you could come tell your little real stories and your don't even matter. This said he know Noriega.
The real Noriega.
And he owe him 100 favors, cuz I got 2 gallons.
Though.
But it matters because that's what sets the bar in rap.
For decades now, hip-hop has told stories about the streets. Depictions of gang violence, drug culture, and harsh upbringings have been synonymous with the genre. And through these depictions, many were able to hear about situations that they may have never found themselves in and probably never will find themselves in. Rappers have often just given their take on things that they've seen and been through, things that influence their style. But what does it mean to you when a rapper isn't telling you what they themselves have lived? Does it change your opinion or perspective if an artist perpetuates a lifestyle that was never their own? If a rapper talks about shooting and killing in the streets while they grew up in a 2-story home in the suburbs, does it matter to you? Or is it just entertainment? Here's where we tend to get the divide. A portion of the audience believes that rappers talking about the things that have never applied to them is unethical and outright fake. They believe it devalues their image. Others say it's just music. They say it isn't that deep. That rap music is just for entertainment purposes and to give you something to vibe to. They say that no one or their children should be shaping their lives out of rap lyrics because it isn't that deep. In response to that last statement, the fact remains that music is everywhere and included in everything. It surrounds us everywhere we go. So it's a tall task to expect children to flat out just not be influenced by it in the slightest, especially considering that it influences many adults. When children are brought into the equation, I'm reminded of this post that I saw floating around of young Jeezy and his son at his son's high school graduation. And the caption basically read that Jeezy told your son to trap or die while he sent his to college. Now, my problem with this is although I see what they're saying, it's a reach because parents still have a job. They have a job of being the primary influence in their children's lives, but I believe that a lot of them, instead of admitting areas where they may have failed, would prefer to deflect it to the entertainers and other people out here. But one thing that I notice is that the culture tends to play both sides. Take the situation with Tekashi 6ix9ine, for example. A lot of people entertained his antics. Many others, like Charlamagne the God, warned him of what it could lead to. And while you have people who clowned him on his come-up, you had way more who cheered him on and encouraged it. They enjoyed seeing him call out many people and taunt many others, saying that he'd never be touched, so on and so forth. He wanted you to believe that he was about that life. But when things got real, he revealed the obvious, which was that he was just a character and everything that he posted on social media was just for entertainment. Then he went on to point fingers to say who really did what. So as a result, he was laughed at for not really being about that life like he pretended to be. Then on the other hand of the spectrum, you have Tay-K. This young man was recently sentenced to 55 years behind bars and is still awaiting trial for another situation. His career and life is over at the age of 19 because he was really about that life. Both of his parents were gang related. His father was in prison, and when you think about it, it's honestly sad that he couldn't escape the lifestyle before it was too late. Most of us have to live a little bit before we finally wise up. But unfortunately for him, the decisions he made were too major and cost him everything. So he was about the lifestyle that he spoke of, but since he lost the race, he's subject to being called an idiot for the rest of his life by the audience. So that just leaves the question, are there levels to being about what you rap? Is it okay to maybe speak on the lives of the people around you and not necessarily your own? Does it only become problematic in instances where rappers claim certain gangs and someone calls them out for false claiming or having been affiliated with a completely different gang at one point? Because while most people say it's just entertainment, there are others who thrive off of music. It's more than just entertainment to them. I have friends who do music and the culture is basically everything to them. They don't take too kindly to those who don't respect it or do right by it. Personally, for me, if a rapper used to sell drugs or something and he talks about it in his music, I'm not gonna be mad at that. If someone is just making music for entertainment and they make that known, then I don't have an issue with that either. Because there was never necessarily a point in my life where I looked at rappers to be what they were in their lyrics. I just like good music. Now, if they really did get caught on camera doing some stuff like, say, handling themselves in a physical altercation, then yeah, I'd give them points for that. Unless they got beat up, of course. But I've never listened to, say, Rick Ross, for example, and felt like he was on some Scarface shit, because he'd be in prison or dead. But I can't lie and act like it's not somewhat impressive if a rapper says they'll whoop your ass and then someone tries them and then, they whoop their ass. If that makes any sense. But I guess it's just a weird gray area for me, because when a rapper blows up, he's got literally no need to ever get his hands dirty, do home invasions, sell crack on the corner, or anything like that. So I guess I'm not really looking for them to be about that. But what do you guys think? As usual, my opinion is my opinion alone, and not my way of saying that it's the one definitive answer to this, because I'm wrong all the time, especially when it comes to the popular opinions on stuff. So let's have a discussion below. Let me know where you all stand on this. Is fantasy rap a thing? Let me know below. With that said, this is Easy, and I'm out.